What up? What it do? It's your man Trey Hustles back with another video. Today's video is going to be about a video I saw talking about people selling food from their home kitchens on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. As somebody who owns licensed restaurants and uses these platforms, I can tell you that this conversation gets way deeper than people think. So I was watching Orlando Miner talk about people selling food from home kitchens, as well as talking about restaurants selling items on different items and different menus on third-party platforms such as Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Uh, it got me thinking, damn, that's crazy, because I've actually had to deal with these platforms from the restaurant side. Um, I'm not speaking as a DoorDash driver, talking to you guys as straight up as a restaurant operator that actually sells food on these apps. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the first category I'm going to talk about is people selling food from the home kitchen. Um, so allegedly, he's saying that people are selling food directly on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, and other platforms without having a food license, food retail license or whatnot. The thing that pops up instantly for me is what about the health departments in each jurisdiction? Because I know here in my area, the health department is pretty diligent as far as about coming around and checking out places, making sure that they're following food safety guidelines and whatnot. So I'm kind of I kind of think that there's not going to be too many people that are able to get set up on third-party platforms selling from the house, just because of the stringent sorry about that. The stringent checks that I've had to go through recently, putting my new concepts that I just opened onto the platforms. It was pretty hard. There's a whole bunch of checks I had to pass. They didn't just, where in the past you could just sign up and you could start selling almost the same day. Like if you did your application in the morning, you could be selling food on the third party platforms by the afternoon. Now, this last time for my newest concept, El Siberia, it took me 3 days to just get Uber and Grubhub done. I still have not gotten DoorDash done because something with my account got flagged. So they permanently deleted or permanently terminated the first account that I had set up for this new concept, House of Birria here. And they told me that it was something with some paperwork that I submitted or something, which I don't understand what they're scrutinizing, because all my paperwork's legit. All my paperwork comes straight from my state. So I don't know what they're talking about, and they didn't want to explain, so fuck it, right? We're just not on DoorDash right now. When I get time and I feel like dealing with their shit, I'll sign it up and get it all done and resubmit all the paperwork or whatever that they want. Now I'm going to talk about ghost kitchens. So ghost kitchens, they operate a little bit differently in the space. Most of your ghost kitchens are gonna be, number one. Ooh, this thing! I gotta get my other little phone holder and doodaddy. But anyway, so most of your ghost kitchens are gonna be a restaurant, existing restaurant. It could be Denny's. It could be any brand, Chili's. Honestly, it could be any kitchen that's already licensed to sell food to the public. It can be selling a ghost kitchen. Like I know for sure, like there are certain brands that are just made for you to run out of your kitchen, and they give you an ingredients list, and then you're supposed to get the packaging and whatever. Like, I guess for like I'll give you an example, like the Mr. Beast burger, I had got an email from some company, I can't remember the company that was handling it, but they were basically like giving you the package for the area to sell Mr. Beast burger. Okay, so then what they would do is they would tell you which patty, which bun, lettuce, tomato, whatever toppings you need to have or whatever, and then you're supposed to buy the packaging or get the packaging. I don't know if you buy it, they send it to you. I don't know the details. But anyway, you get the packaging that says Mr. Beast burger, and you make the hamburgers, and people order that shit, and people come pick it up, drop it off, and they get the Mr. Beast burger. And it's essentially having a restaurant without owning one restaurant. It's totally different than owning a real brick and mortar or even a food truck or a food stand. I got a homeboy that has a hot dog stand. It does really well. But anyway, yeah, your ghost kitchens, those are basically going to be like any existing restaurant, just basically cooking another menu. Usually it's very niche or specific. Like it'll be smash burgers or chicken tenders or wings, or it'd be something. It'll be like one item, really focused menu. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is I kind of covered in the ghost kitchens, but I'm going to go all the way in on these now, which are virtual brands. So a virtual brand would be like what I said, like Mr. Beast burger. I know Tyga. I think Tyga had some chicken or some shit they were selling for a while. Basically, what they do is these companies will hit up existing restaurants in a certain area, and they'll try to get you to sign up to make the burgers. Basically, I don't know how the money gets split up because I've never done one of them. I do have what could be considered a ghost kitchen running at my Mactory location. Actually, you could consider 2 of my menus a ghost type situation, but not really, because like I advertise that the location is, operating as the so it's the Mactory, and then we also sell a hibachi menu, which uses a lot of the same items. They are all prepped by us. Everything that I came up with, the logo, everything. I had the logo done, everything. But I didn't come up with these concepts as ghost kitchens per se. I came up with them just to offer more than just mac and cheese bowls at the restaurant. You get what I'm saying? So you have home kitchens selling food, which is getting popular because I'm seeing like people doing TikToks of them, doing reels and TikToks of them buying food from Facebook Marketplace, and I be watching, and some of that food do be looking good as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you have your ghost kitchens, you know what I'm saying, where you got people just, you got restaurants that are, getting the ingredients or whatnot to sell virtual brands, okay? And then you have the virtual brands, which there are companies that just come up with these virtual brands, right? They just say, okay, let's come up with a virtual wing brand. They find, a distributor, usually probably going to be a nationwide distributor. They find the products, chicken wings, this seasoning, that seasoning, whatever. They get the packaging printed, and then they sell you that shit. And you probably got to give them a kickback or sales or some shit. It's probably some type of like little mini franchise agreement or something like that. All right. So, what I run is more of a licensed restaurant, running multiple concepts out of it. Like I have one building that has mac and cheese bowls, hibachi bowls, loaded fry bowls, and then we also have a sandwich shop off in there as well, which I converted my secondary dining room into a sandwich shop. But we we make everything. We prep everything. I came up with all the ingredients and recipes and what we're selling. I came up with it all on my own. None of my shit is a ghost kitchen. What I consider a ghost kitchen. So it's important to differentiate and understand the differences between these different things, um, because they all get lumped together as fake restaurants, um, or you know they all get tagged as ghost kitchens, or they all get tagged as uh, you know a home food seller or whatever, right? But they're actually different things. Okay. Um, so as far as me dealing with these third party apps, and I'll make some more videos talking about these third party apps because I hate fucking with them. But people go there when they're looking for food. They try to figure out what they're gonna eat. People go there. People go to DoorDash. They go to fucking Uber Eats. They go to Grubhub, right? They go on these sites. You probably go on there. I don't really go on there because like I own a restaurant and I see some of these people's cars and shit, and I don't want my food. I don't want my food going in their car. Half the time they be having pets in the car jumping all around your bag and all that shit. I don't like that. That's just me. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they be eating your food. They be taking your food. I ain't got time for that, man. Like when I want to eat, I want to eat, and most of the time I'm eating off of a meal plan anyway. So I'm not ordering no third party. I'm not ordering no food off DoorDash really. Um, but let's talk about setting up on these third parties. So let's say you have a restaurant, you got your LLC, you got your food license from your local authority, whatever. You cleared your inspections, everything's good, you're set, you open, right? So what you want to do nowadays, like I said before, you could set up the same day and be selling on DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats and shit. Now, it took me like 3 days and I still ain't live on DoorDash, which that's a whole different reason. I don't understand why they didn't take my paperwork, but Uber Eats and Grubhub took my paperwork and I'm selling on there, no problem, right? So I'll get that shit sorted out. But nowadays the process, they want to see all your paperwork. They're not playing. Like they're not letting you they're not letting you just say, oh yeah, this is such and such pizza, and put your home, and you put a home address on there now. They got some new shit where they can see that you got a commercial address or not. You know what I'm saying? And see, I think what happened, the reason why they kicked my House of Birria, DoorDash didn't activate my House of Birria account. I think it's because I gave them my cell phone number as the phone number because I didn't have a phone set up, because I got this stupid ass fiber internet and they don't give you no phone. You gotta like get either a VoIP number, or they give you a bunch of like ways you can get a phone or whatever, right? Use your VoIP number. You can call I think it's like CenturyLink or some shit. They can set you up with just phone only. Their internet sucks though, so I wouldn't never go with their internet. But yeah, anyway, so I ended up just getting a business cell phone for this restaurant. I just got added a cell phone line to my business cell phone account and shit for over here, and so I'm gonna redo that application and I'll update and let y'all know if that shit goes right through with the same paperwork and a different phone number. Then that was the reason, was because I used the home phone number. Now I heard they've been trying to crack down on people like selling like homemade food on the third parties or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't give a shit, because if somebody sees your food pictures and sees your branding and all that shit and they want to order from you, then that's cool to me. I don't care about nobody selling food on Marketplace. I never cared. I never been, you know what I'm saying? I never gave a shit about nobody doing their business, because when I started in the food business, I didn't start as a cart, a truck, none of that shit, no home plates, none of that. I just opened a restaurant, brick and mortar, for the first time. So when you setting up on there on DoorDash and all that shit, you're gonna have to up your prices, number one. So on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, my prices are 30% higher because they take 30% out of whatever sales come in. So when you, as you're selling food, right, you got food costs, right? So let me give you guys an idea of the concept, right, with this shit. So when you're selling on third parties versus your own website, let's say a customer goes on your website, orders, makes an order or whatnot, whatever. They order on there, boom, same prices as if you came in, blah blah blah, right? I have delivery set up it's basically just uses the same drivers as the third parties, but the prices are the same. The customer just pays the small delivery fee. That's it. I don't pay DoorDash shit for them orders because they're my customers going to my site. Okay. Now, when you have a customer that goes to DoorDash and scrolls around and finds your shit and then orders it, they gotta pay more because they're DoorDash customer. DoorDash wants to make that fee. So I think the fees range from 20, 25, or 30% depending on your visibility on that particular site. You know what I'm saying? And then like once you sign up on there, your orders start coming through. You can run ads, you can make campaigns, you can have loyalty, all that shit on there or whatever. It's like its own little ecosystem, right? And like they incentivize their customers to stay on the platform. They give them discounts and shit, right? You know, but they don't own no restaurants. So they don't have no food costs, they don't have no labor on the food side, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They just have the drivers and they got their software and shit. I don't know financially how they making money, how much money they making. I assume they're making a pretty good amount, but I hear that they're taking a lot of money from the drivers and shit, which that could be another video too. Let me stay on topic. You're gonna have to deal with them fucking tablets unless you integrate your shit. Unless you integrate your shit, you're gonna have to deal with them tablets. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who's doing that shit at their home, they got 3 tablets. They gotta sit there, figure out, you know, what order goes to who, whatever. And then here's another problem that I see for like people trying to sign up to sell food out of DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats out their house. Here's a main problem, man. These motherfuckers don't pay quick. They take their time to pay you out. These motherfuckers, you make a sale, you get your sales. Like the last time I just looked, I go over my numbers on Mondays. So I went over my numbers and shit. These motherfuckers still ain't paid. I'm still in June with my payments with them motherfuckers. And today's the 7th. So yesterday was the 6th. So that was 6 days. I done sold all that food on them platforms. I ain't got a fucking cent from them. So you got to be able to wait. You know, realistically, you need to be able to wait. It says you gonna get paid like daily payouts, but that shit ain't daily. They give you the payouts from each day, but that shit ain't coming daily. Like your sales that you get paid, like let's say you sell on Monday, right? You probably ain't gonna get that fucking money till Friday or the next week, Monday. Fucking with DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. These motherfuckers, they pay slow as fuck. Okay? So a reason why a lot of these restaurants are doing these ghost concepts and shit like that, it's just another revenue stream, man. Like imagine like, okay, let's say you're Chili's, right? I don't know what the fuck Chili's make a day, so I'm just gonna say, let's say 5 bands, right? Let's say you Chili's, you make 5 bands, but you looking in your kitchen and you like, oh well, we could sell more food, but people ain't coming for the Chili's more than 5 bands a day. Well, okay, what do we already got? We got chicken tenders, we got wings, we got burgers, we got all this shit, right? So then what they do is they come up with like a little brand of wings. Sell you the wings with the tenders. Then they'll come up with another little brand and sell you the fucking burgers and the fries. They're just bringing that shit up and having multiple sales channels. So it's just having multiple sales channels. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, if you was a sneaker reseller, like I used to be heavy into sneaker reselling and shit. I'm about to jump back into that game and shit. But more, I'm really gonna only deal with used shit. I don't want to deal with the new shit anymore. I don't like going for drops. Different video though. But what I'm saying though is like when I was reselling, like I would sell on every fucking platform. Goat, StockX, fucking Mercari, eBay, fucking every site I could sell that shit on. That shit was listed on there. Whenever the sale came through, I had this software that would unlist the shit on all the other platforms and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I print my labels and send that shit out or whatever. It's a pretty slick little software. But I'm about to get that shit I just hollered at my plug the other day about that shit. So I'm gonna start doing some videos, getting that business back jugging, probably like in about 2 months. But anyway, back on topic. Yeah, so they just trying to have more channels, you know what I'm saying? So if they get 5 bands off of the chili side of shit, let's say they sell another band worth of just chicken tenders and shit with that other brand, just the other branding or whatever, they're getting $1,000 worth of orders. Let's say the same fucking burgers that they selling in Chili's as Chili's, they just putting in a different fucking box, the same fucking burger, and they call that shit Burgerville or whatever the fuck, and they put that shit on the third party sites, sell you that Burgerville burger too. Let's say they sell another band worth of Burgerville burgers, and then they sell another band worth of whatever the fuck they call the Chicken Town chicken tenders or whatever the fuck. Let's just call it that. So you got Chili's at 5 racks, and then you got Chicken Town chicken tenders doing the band, and then you got the Burgerville selling $1,000 worth of burgers. Now we at 7 bands. You see what I'm saying? That's increased what? That's damn near 50% more sales, right? Probably like 40-something% more sales. So that's why they're doing this shit. They're not trying to be, you know, malicious or shady or none of that shit. I mean, I'm sure some of these motherfuckers, it is some shady shit, because I seen some people selling the same damn item for more money, on the third parties than they selling the shit for on their site. I think in Orlando's video, there was like a place selling some spaghetti or some shit, and the same damn spaghetti they had it on another menu is the same goddamn restaurant. That's shady, but whatever. So basically, man, what I'm saying though is a virtual restaurant, it doesn't necessarily mean fake automatically, okay? Sometimes it's just a real restaurant trying to, you know, organize and sell food in a way that makes sense for every customer, because not everybody likes Chili's, but motherfucker might take a chance and order that Burgerville burger. He might love that Burgerville burger, even though it's the same fucking shit. But people are fickle like that, man. So, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a trickery, you know what I'm saying? You know, the problem with it really, man, when it boils down, is transparency. You know, that's why people get mad about the shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't think a brand should pretend to be something that is not. I feel like you should just always be honest with your customers and people and shit like that. You know, the fucking when I was looking, so I actually looked into opening up some of my concepts in one of them ghost kitchen, like warehouse setups or whatever, and I've always just kind of balked at the rent. I always thought that the rent sucked, and then the fees, because like, you know, I got my own location, this little yellow building, this is my location, right? So I got my own location I'm paying, you know, rent on or whatever, but like people, it's freestanding, people can Google this shit, come right to this motherfucker, they coming right to me. That food hall shit, you know, they be trying to charge you the same rent you can rent a freestanding building for, but they put you in there with all these other fucking brands, and maybe it gives you a little bit of exposure, but, you know, let's say you selling fucking nachos, and the motherfucker come in there and, you know, come in that food hall walking around, and they like, I don't want no fucking nachos, I want a fucking pizza. They gonna go to the pizza man, you know what I'm saying? So maybe the customer saw you, that's cool, but I mean, your customers at the end of the day, they gonna come and find you and come to you anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter. But the thing I didn't like about them food halls, man, is like I don't feel like you can really build. It's hard to build your brand that way because, you know, when customers come to my restaurants, like they get to know us, they get to know my staff, they get to know like if you uh, look at reviews, you read the reviews, people don't always just talk about the food. Sometimes they talk about the person who rang their fucking food up. You know, they might fall in love with. I've had people fall in love with people that I had working there, and then that person quit or some shit, or I had to let them go, man, and then we don't see that customer as much no more for a while. You know what I mean? Maybe till somebody else wows them, or they like the person, or whatever, man. But you know what I'm saying? People don't always just want to order some shit off their phone. They want to go have an experience. So, in the restaurants, I feel like, that's the difference maker is like the experience. You know what I'm saying? If your inside is bland, like if you ain't got no type of like artistic bone in your body, get somebody who does and have them help you decorate your shit. You know what I'm saying? You look at like, let me think, who's a brand that makes that? Oh, fucking Dave's Hot Chicken. I never fucking eat that shit. I'm not into no hot ass chicken. I never go there and eat, but I like to I'll go in that motherfucker and look around and look at their design cues and shit, cause they designs be hard as hell. But I don't really want to eat no hot ass chicken. That's just not my bag. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't like that shit because it's hard to build that. It's hard to build that brand loyalty and shit. And then the fucking delivery fees and the commissions, all that shit gonna kill your profit, man. Like every time, think about it like this: every time you sell a motherfucking $10 burger, right? You sell a burger. Let's say you selling burgers and you sell them shits for $10. When you sell that shit on DoorDash, that motherfucker you getting $7. Probably getting less, honestly, because you gonna get 7. The commission gonna take your ass down to like the 7, and then they got all kind of little other fees, man. By the time you get that money, man, you gonna be getting $6.37 from these motherfuckers, man. So I mean, but it's part of the game. So what I do is I raise my price. You want that? You want to buy my shit through DoorDash? You gonna pay a fucking fee. You gonna pay the middleman fee if you gonna buy from the middleman. You feel me? You buy from the middleman, you gotta pay his tax. I'm not paying the fucking tax. So if you come to one of my spots, you gonna pay 13 for that motherfucker, and I'm gonna get my 10. You feel me? But yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, I think virtual brands can work. I think they can be cool or whatever. I just think they need real systems. You know what I'm saying? They need good food, real systems, good staff like anybody else. You know what I mean? The people that selling food out their crib and shit, that's cool, man. Like I think they just passed some shit called the Tamale Act here in Colorado, where you could pretty much like they expanded the cottage law, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't need to really look at that shit because I'm not selling no food out of nothing without no license. So it's not really for me to look up. Maybe I'll look it up if I talk about it in another video or something. But yeah, they just started this Tamale Act shit, and everybody, all the food, all the restaurant operators is talking about that they feel like that's like giving everybody a license to own to have a restaurant when it's not. It's not, because anybody could go and buy some fucking clamshell to-go containers and buy some fucking food or whatever, try to put some shit together. But that don't mean that shit finna sell. That shit don't mean that it's finna have no real brand built behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's a hustle. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking to build a hustle, that's cool. Sometimes you got to start a hustle to start a real business. But to me, that plate selling shit ain't a real business. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like selling plates, that shit is a hustle. You know what I mean? To me, that's just like if you on the block selling nicks. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna never fuck with nobody like me because, you know, when I was in the weed game, I was fucking growing the weed. So, you feel me? So you can't fuck with me. You just a nigga that's selling nicks. So to me, I just look at them like the niggas that's just selling bags. Like, you just buying bags and selling them. Like, I got the real plug on mine. You feel me? Like, I got big boy distributor accounts. You know what I mean? I'm ordering, you know, thousands a week of food. Thousands, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a different game, you know what I mean? I'm never gonna be mad at nobody for trying to get them a business started. They start off with the hustle. Start off with the hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make a video telling you how, as a restaurant owner, how I would start a fucking selling plates. I'm gonna make that video my next video and shit for y'all, man. But anyway, yeah, I think that you know, I think that that I'm just scrolling through my little talking points and shit real quick, making sure I didn't miss nothing. But yeah, that's one thing I want to say too. Yeah, like I've been saying, people go to these third parties to to find where they're gonna order from. Sometimes, you know, the parents want some shit and the kids want pizza, and they just order all that shit on DoorDash and let it come, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers nowadays, they don't even want to go pick up their own fucking food. So that's why these damn delivery apps done got a fucking, you know, they got the shit in a chokehold, you feel me? But you can still get it where you get it, you know what I mean? But they are tightening that shit up. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of people selling on Facebook Marketplace nowadays and shit. You know what I mean? Because that's a good place for you to post your shit. Like, I almost bought some cookies off that motherfucker the other day because them shits was looking puffy. They was looking puffy and fire. I messaged the chick, and she wasn't in my area. She talking about pre-order the shit. And when she come to my area, she'll bring my shit. I'm like, nah, baby. If you ain't got no website, I'm not cash apping you no motherfucking $30 for no cookies, and then there's no recourse if I don't get my shit. So yeah, I'm gonna come up with some ideas and shit for y'all. You know, plate selling motherfuckers, home bakers, whatever. I'm coming up with some game for y'all to how y'all can elevate y'all shit. Alright? Trey Hustles.